My friends, before we begin, let me ask you something simple. When was the last time you looked at a supplement bottle and truly questioned what's inside? Most people don't. They see magnesium, vitamin D3, or K2, and immediately think, these are good for me, these are safe. Everyone says so. But what if I told you that even these so-called safe vitamins could quietly harm your body, especially as you age? Imagine trusting something to heal you, only to discover later that it was slowly creating an imbalance deep inside your bloodstream. That's the hidden danger we're talking about today. Picture this: a retired gentleman named Mr. Ahmed, age 75, healthy, active, and optimistic about staying young at heart. He watches a health video, saying magnesium calms the nerves, vitamin D3 strengthens bones, and K2 protects the heart. It sounds perfect, doesn't it? So he buys them all. Every morning he swallows his capsules with faith, believing he's doing something wonderful for his health. But months later, strange things start happening. He feels tired. His heart sometimes skips a beat. Lab tests reveal high calcium levels, early kidney strain, and calcification forming in his arteries. Mr. Ahmed is shocked. How could the very supplements that were supposed to protect him end up hurting him? This story, my friends, is not an isolated one. Every day, thousands of seniors around the world begin similar routines, trusting in marketing slogans like boost immunity, support bone strength, or heart protector. The truth is, the supplement industry rarely talks about interactions, overdosing, or age-related risks. For older adults, the body doesn't metabolize nutrients the same way it once did. Kidneys work slower, hormones change, even the way our intestines absorb minerals evolves with time. What was safe at 30 might be risky at 70. Let's pause here for a moment. When you walk into a pharmacy, do you see how confidently those bottles sit on the shelf? No warning signs, no reminders about dosage for seniors, no mention of how D3 can raise calcium, or how too much magnesium can overload weak kidneys. Everything looks bright, clean, healthy, as if nature itself packed goodness in a capsule. That illusion of safety is where the real danger begins, because anything that has power to help you also has power to harm you when misused. I'm not here to demonize vitamins or supplements. I'm here to open your eyes. Magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 do have remarkable benefits, but only when used with wisdom, balance, and medical guidance. Think of your body like a finely tuned orchestra. Every instrument, magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, K2, potassium, must play in harmony. If one instrument plays too loudly or out of rhythm, the entire melody collapses into noise. The tragedy is that many seniors are unknowingly creating that noise inside their own bodies, one capsule at a time. Now you might say, but these are natural substances. Yes, and so is water. Yet even water, when consumed in excess, can drown a person. Natural doesn't always mean safe. The human body is precise, it thrives on balance, not extremes. When you pour in more than what the body can use or regulate, that excess doesn't simply disappear, it settles somewhere. Sometimes in your arteries, sometimes in your kidneys, sometimes in your heart. And that's why, today, I want to gently shake your trust in blind supplementation. Don't believe everything labeled as essential or doctor recommended. Don't assume that if one capsule helps, two must be better. Question it, study it, talk to your physician, get your levels tested. The difference between healing and harm often lies in a single missing question. Let me end this first part with a simple truth. Health is not built by taking more, but by taking what's right for you. The same magnesium that calms one person's nerves can drop another person's blood pressure dangerously low. The same vitamin D3 that strengthens one person's bones can cause kidney stones in another. The difference is not in the vitamin, it's in the body receiving it. That's why we must move beyond blind trust and start practicing intelligent supplementation. So as we continue, remember this one message: not everything that shines with a health label is your friend. Sometimes, the real enemy hides inside that capsule of hope. Stay with me, because what you'll hear next, about how magnesium, vitamin D3 and K2 can turn from healers to hazards, might just protect your heart, your kidneys, and your life itself. My friends, we've all heard it. Magnesium is essential for your nerves, your muscles, and your sleep. Every doctor, every health website, every YouTube expert says the same thing. And it's true, magnesium plays a vital role in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. But what they don't tell you is that too much of a good thing can quietly turn against you, especially for seniors whose kidneys, heart, and gut don't process minerals the same way they did at 25. Let me share a story. A retired teacher named Mrs. Wilson once told me, "Doctor, I started taking magnesium glycinate because I couldn't sleep. Within a few weeks, she began feeling dizzy, her blood pressure dropped, and her legs started cramping. When we checked her labs, her magnesium level was nearly double the normal range. Her heart rhythm was unstable, not because she lacked magnesium, but because she had too much of it. What she thought was a simple sleep aid had slowly turned into a silent disruptor." Here's the science behind it. Magnesium relaxes your muscles, but your heart is also a muscle. Too much magnesium can cause it to beat too slowly or irregularly. It also lowers blood pressure, which sounds good, but in older adults who are already on medication for hypertension, that drop can become dangerous. Combine it with diuretics or kidney problems, and suddenly the body can't clear excess magnesium. You start getting nausea, fatigue, and confusion, and in extreme cases, it can even lead to cardiac arrest. And yet, no supplement label warns you that natural doesn't always mean safe. Many people assume that if magnesium is good for stress, then more magnesium must mean more calmness, more strength, more sleep. But that's not how the human body works. Balance matters more than abundance. Think of your body like an orchestra. Magnesium plays the cello, deep, soothing, important. But if the cello starts playing too loudly, it overpowers the violins, the flutes, and the drums. The entire harmony collapses. Your heart, your calcium levels, your potassium, they all start playing out of tune. Now here's where it gets even trickier. Seniors often take multiple supplements together: magnesium, vitamin D3, K2, calcium, zinc, thinking each one serves a separate purpose, but the body doesn't see them as separate. It sees them as part of one complex chemical conversation. If magnesium levels rise too high, it suppresses calcium absorption. Then your bones become weaker, not stronger, even though you're taking all the right pills. That's the paradox. You can follow all the healthy advice online and still end up creating internal chaos without realizing it. So how much magnesium is safe? For most adults, around 320 to 420 milligrams per day is enough, including what you get from food. But here's the secret. Your body loves natural sources more than capsules: almonds, spinach, pumpkin seeds, avocados. These foods contain magnesium that's bound with other nutrients, allowing your body to absorb only what it truly needs. When you take pills, you bypass nature's filter. You're forcing your system to absorb an amount that your organs might not be able to handle, especially with age-related changes in metabolism. Let's get real for a second. The supplement industry is worth billions. And they're not selling magnesium because they care about your balance, they're selling it because fear sells. They tell you, you're deficient, you're tired, you're stressed, take this pill. But what if the truth is simpler? What if your tiredness isn't from lack of magnesium but from dehydration, poor sleep hygiene, or lack of sunlight? What if your stress isn't chemical but emotional? The body doesn't always need a pill, sometimes it just needs rest, movement, and balance. And here's something most people never realize: magnesium supplements can interfere with antibiotics, thyroid medications, and even osteoporosis drugs. So, if you're a senior taking these, you're not just risking imbalance, you're creating drug interactions that can alter how your body functions daily. That's why blood testing, even once or twice a year, is so vital before taking anything regularly. Friends, magnesium is a beautiful mineral when respected. It can calm your nerves, help your muscles, and support your sleep, but only when used wisely. You wouldn't water a plant until it drowns, you water it just enough to help it grow. Your body is that plant, treat it gently. Because balance, not excess, is where health truly begins. My friends, let me start with a simple question. If vitamin D3 is so good for bones, why are so many seniors who take it every day still breaking their hips, developing kidney stones, or suffering from heart problems? The answer lies in something I call the calcium paradox. The more vitamin D3 you take without understanding its balance, the more calcium ends up in the wrong places: your arteries, kidneys, and heart, instead of your bones. Vitamin D3 is often sold as a miracle nutrient. It boosts your immunity, it strengthens your bones, it fights fatigue, All of that sounds wonderful, and much of it is true, but only at the right dosage. See, vitamin D3's main role is to help your intestines absorb calcium from food. But here's the hidden twist: when you take large doses of D3, like 5,000 or 10,000 IU daily, you can absorb too much calcium, more than your bones can store. That excess calcium starts floating in your bloodstream, like uninvited guests at a party, looking for somewhere to settle. And where does it go? Into your arteries, into your kidneys, into the soft tissues that were never meant to hold it. Let me share a story that still gives me chills. An elderly man, Mr. Anderson, came to the clinic with fatigue, joint pain, and shortness of breath. He proudly said, "Doctor, I take vitamin D3 every day, 10,000 IU religiously." When we ran his labs, his calcium was sky high, his kidney function was falling, and scans showed calcium deposits in his coronary arteries. The very supplement meant to protect his heart had quietly started to choke it. That's the silent danger. Vitamin D toxicity doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in slowly, masking itself as fatigue, muscle weakness, or back pain, until one day it's too late. Here's what's really happening on a biological level. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption in your intestines, but it doesn't tell your body where to put that calcium. That's like hiring more construction workers without giving them a blueprint. Chaos is inevitable. Your bones don't get stronger because the calcium never reaches them. Instead, it settles in arteries, causing stiffness and increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. Now, you might be wondering, but I also take K2, isn't that supposed to fix this? We'll get to that soon. But the truth is, no supplement can completely undo the damage of chronic overdosing on vitamin D3. Balance is the only real protection. Here's the part most people miss: sunlight, not supplements, is nature's original way of giving you vitamin D, and it never overdoses you. When your skin is exposed to the sun, it makes vitamin D3, and then stops production when your levels are optimal. Your body self-regulates naturally, but when you take pills, that internal switch is bypassed. Your body has no way of saying, "Stop, that's enough." You're forcing a process that nature designed to be self-limiting. And let's not forget, the supplement industry has made vitamin D sound like oxygen: the more the better. But friends, health is not about more, it's about right. Too little D3 weakens the immune system, yes, but too much thickens the blood, hardens arteries, and clogs kidneys. The sweet spot for most adults, around 800 to 2000 IU daily, depending on sunlight exposure and blood levels. And those blood levels should be tested, because everyone's metabolism is different. Think of it like this: imagine pouring cement into a mold. The mold is your skeleton, the cement is calcium, vitamin D3 is the worker pouring it in. Now, if you pour just the right amount, the foundation becomes strong. But if you keep pouring, the cement overflows, it hardens in places it shouldn't, jamming pipes and machinery. That's exactly what excess vitamin D3 does to your body. It causes calcification where softness and flexibility should exist. And yet, this danger rarely gets discussed, because vitamin D3 has been rebranded as the happiness vitamin. It's linked to energy, mood, and longevity. But the truth is, happiness doesn't come from a capsule. It comes from balance, movement, and mindful living. Taking a supplement without understanding its physiology is like driving with your eyes closed because someone told you the road is safe. Friends, before you pop another capsule, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I really need this much? Get your vitamin D tested, not guessed. And remember, your body is not a chemistry experiment, it's a symphony. Every note, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, must play in harmony. Because even the sweetest instrument, when played too loud, can turn harmony into chaos. So, take this lesson to heart, literally. The real secret to healthy bones isn't just vitamin D3, it's sunlight, magnesium balance, hydration, and gentle weight-bearing movement. Pills can't replace nature, they can only complement it, if used wisely. Because in the end, health isn't built by doing more of one thing, it's protected by understanding why and how much of it your body truly needs. My friends, let's talk about the so-called hero of the supplement world, vitamin K2. You've probably heard it everywhere. If you take D3, make sure you add K2. It's sold as the perfect duo, the yin and yang of bone health. Vitamin D3 helps absorb calcium, and K2 is supposed to direct that calcium into the bones where it belongs. It sounds beautifully simple, but health, as we've learned, is never that simple. I want you to imagine this. You're building a house. Vitamin D3 brings in the bricks. Calcium. Vitamin K2 is the foreman who tells the workers where to place them. But what happens if the foreman gets too many orders, or if there aren't enough workers to manage the load? The system collapses. That's exactly what's happening inside millions of senior bodies today. People are taking high doses of D3 and K2, believing they're fortifying their bones, but what they're really doing is overloading a delicate biological construction site. Here's what vitamin K2 actually does. It activates two important proteins, osteocalcium, which locks calcium into your bones, and matrix GLA protein, MGP, which keeps calcium out of your arteries. It's a brilliant system when it works right. But when you flood your body with supplements, you can overwhelm this system. Excess calcium and D3 don't just wait politely for K2 to guide them, they start circulating in your bloodstream, and even K2 can't control where they land. There's a reason nature designed these vitamins to come from food, not from bottles. In food, K2 exists in perfect balance with other nutrients like A, D, E, and healthy fats. When you eat fermented foods like natto, egg yolks, or grass-fed butter, your body absorbs K2 in small controlled amounts. But when you swallow a 200 mg pill every day, especially alongside high-dose D3, you're forcing your metabolism to process levels that it never evolved to handle. The enzymes get overworked, and calcium regulation begins to fail. Let me tell you a story. A 74-year-old man named Robert had been taking 10,000 IU of D3 and 200 mg K2 every day for almost 2 years. He told me proudly, "Doctor, I haven't missed a single day. My bones must be bulletproof by now." But when we scanned his arteries, they were stiff, calcified. His bones weren't improving, his kidneys were straining, and he had developed mild hypertension. When we tested his blood, we found his calcium was elevated, and his vitamin D level was toxic. K2 was doing its best, but it couldn't save him from the chaos created by imbalance. That's the harsh truth. Supplements are not magic wands, they are chemical tools. Use them with wisdom, or they'll turn against you. Most people assume that K2 will protect them from any damage caused by D3, but studies show it only works up to a point. Beyond that, the excess D3 keeps pulling in more calcium, and K2 simply can't redirect all of it. Imagine a traffic cop trying to control hundreds of cars in a thunderstorm. Eventually, crashes happen. And there's another layer to this story. Vitamin K2 interacts with blood-thinning medications like warfarin, one of the most common prescriptions for seniors. Taking K2 while on blood thinners can dangerously reduce the drug's effect, increasing the risk of blood clots. Many seniors don't realize this until they end up in the emergency room. That's why every new supplement should be discussed with a healthcare provider, even if it's natural. Because in biology, natural doesn't always mean harmless, it means powerful. Let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. If you're getting your D3 from the sun, your K2 from foods like eggs, cheese and fermented soy, and your magnesium from nuts and greens, your body already has the balance it needs. But when you replace nature's variety with high-dose capsules, you remove the checks and balances that nature built into your system. It's like replacing a symphony with just one loud trumpet, impressive at first, but unbearable after a while. And here's the emotional truth. Seniors often take these supplements out of fear. Fear of weakness, fear of fractures, fear of aging. The supplement industry knows this, and they package that fear in a shiny bottle, labeled vitamin K2 plus D3, stronger bones, stronger heart. But real strength doesn't come from fear or excess, it comes from understanding, from listening to your body, not advertisements. So, here's my advice, simple but powerful: get your K2 from food whenever possible. Use supplements only under guidance, and only if your blood levels truly show deficiency. Because when it comes to your health, precision matters more than enthusiasm. Your body isn't asking for more, it's asking for balance. And remember, nature doesn't create miracles through pills, it creates harmony through balance. The greatest medicine is wisdom, and wisdom begins when we stop believing that more means better. My friends, let me start with a truth that might surprise you. Not every perfect combination is truly perfect for everyone. Especially as we age, the way our body processes minerals and vitamins changes dramatically. What was once helpful at 30 can quietly become harmful at 70. And nowhere is this more evident than in the trio of magnesium, vitamin D3 and K2. You've probably heard that these three supplements work beautifully together. D3 helps absorb calcium, K2 directs that calcium into your bones, and magnesium supports the enzymes that make it all happen. It's marketed as a smart system, a miracle synergy. And yes, in theory this makes sense, but the human body isn't a laboratory model, it's a living, breathing system with age, history, medications, and unique chemistry. When you take all three together, especially in supplement form, you may be triggering reactions that your body can't fully control. Let's break it down simply. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption, that's its main job. But when you increase calcium, your body automatically needs more magnesium to help regulate nerve and muscle function, so you start adding magnesium supplements too. Now you've got calcium and magnesium in play, then you add K2 to make sure the calcium goes to the right places. Sounds balanced, right? But here's where it gets dangerous, because your kidneys, liver, and cardiovascular system now have to manage an unusually high load of minerals and fat-soluble vitamins all at once. Imagine you're running a small kitchen. You can handle a few orders at a time, say 2 or 3, but suddenly you're flooded with 50 orders all at once. You can't cook that fast, the food burns, the stove overheats, and the kitchen goes into chaos. That's what happens inside your body when these supplements are taken together in high doses. The metabolism gets overwhelmed. Let me share a real-world story. An older woman, 68, came into my clinic with chest tightness, muscle weakness, and fatigue. She told me proudly, "I'm on magnesium glycinate, vitamin D3 5000 IU, and K2 200 mcg every morning. I'm doing everything right," but when we ran her tests, her calcium levels were too high, her magnesium was borderline toxic, and her kidney function was beginning to decline. She was feeding her body nutrients that should work together, but her body couldn't keep up with the pace. Here's the deeper science. D3 pulls more calcium into the bloodstream, while magnesium helps activate D3. That means the more D3 you take, the more magnesium your body uses up. And if you keep adding both without monitoring blood levels, you can reach a tipping point where calcium starts depositing in soft tissues. The arteries stiffen, the kidneys overwork, and inflammation slowly builds. Meanwhile, K2, the supposed traffic controller, can't redirect everything if your body is overloaded. It's like having one security guard trying to manage a crowd of thousands. Now let's add another layer. Most seniors are already on medications, blood pressure pills, diuretics, or heart drugs. These medications alter how minerals are absorbed and excreted. For instance, diuretics cause magnesium loss through urine. So when you add magnesium supplements, your kidneys face extra stress. Calcium channel blockers, another common heart medication, also interfere with mineral balance. Suddenly, what seems like a safe natural combination turns into a hidden stress test for your cardiovascular and renal systems. And here's what's often overlooked: your digestive system changes with age too. The stomach produces less acid, absorption slows down, and the microbiome, those tiny gut bacteria, plays a smaller role in regulating vitamin K2 and D3 conversion. So, you're not just taking nutrients, you're throwing them into a system that can't regulate them properly anymore. That's when imbalance silently begins: fatigue, irregular heartbeat, muscle cramps, insomnia, or even high blood pressure, despite healthy habits. Friends, it's not about demonizing these nutrients. They are essential, but they need to work within your body's natural rhythm. Magnesium, D3, and K2 should be obtained first from diet and sunlight. Spinach, almonds, oily fish, eggs, and fermented foods. These sources give your body smaller, more manageable doses that integrate naturally with digestion. Pills, on the other hand, are like shortcuts. They flood the system and force your body to adapt quickly, something the aging body isn't built to do. Think of your body like an orchestra again. Each vitamin and mineral is a musician. If magnesium plays too loud, D3 can't keep tempo. If D3 takes the lead too long, calcium drowns out the rest. K2 tries to bring harmony, but if everyone's playing their own tune, the melody of health turns into noise. The result? You feel off, tired, foggy, anxious, even while taking healthy supplements. So, what's the lesson here? The trio of magnesium, D3, and K2 is not bad, it's powerful, but like all powerful tools, it requires precision, not passion. Get your blood tested before combining them. Track your calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D levels. Listen to your body, not advertisements. And remember, supplements are helpers, not healers. They're meant to support your lifestyle, not replace it. The truth is, real health doesn't come from stacking bottles on your shelf, it comes from understanding that your body's needs evolve with time. What nourished you at 40 may overwhelm you at 70, and that's not weakness, that's wisdom, because the goal isn't to take more, the goal is to take right. My friends, if there's one thing I've learned over decades of observing human health, It's this: the aging body doesn't fail, it adapts. But the problem is, we often treat it like it hasn't changed at all. We take the same doses, the same supplements, the same routines that once worked for us in our 30s and 40s, thinking they'll give the same results in our 70s. Yet, inside, your body has rewritten its entire chemistry book, and most people never notice until something goes wrong. You see, aging doesn't just bring wrinkles or slower walking speed. It silently alters how your body handles minerals and vitamins, the very building blocks of your cells. The kidneys filter more slowly, the liver processes fat-soluble vitamins, like D3 and K2, less efficiently, and the gut absorbs fewer nutrients. This means every pill, every capsule, every supplement you take stays in your system longer than it used to. What once gave you energy at 40 might now tip you into toxicity at 70. Let me share a real example. A kind gentleman named Thomas, 76 years old, came to me because of muscle weakness and dizziness. He said, "Doctor, I'm taking all the right things, magnesium, D3, K2, calcium, just like they say online. But when we ran his labs, his magnesium was high, his calcium was creeping upward, and his kidneys were struggling. The very supplements he believed were protecting him were now burdening his system. His body was no longer processing minerals like it once did. He wasn't doing anything wrong, he was simply aging. And that's the hidden truth few people talk about. Aging doesn't make you fragile. It makes you different. Your filtration system, the kidneys, becomes less efficient. Your heart becomes more sensitive to shifts in electrolytes. Your digestion slows. Even your cellular membranes, the tiny barriers that let nutrients in and out, become less flexible. So when seniors take magnesium or D3 in high doses, those nutrients can build up, leading to imbalances that cause heart irregularities, fatigue, or even cognitive fog. Here's something most people don't realize: magnesium, calcium, and potassium are like electrical wires for your heart and muscles. They control every beat, every contraction. In youth, your body corrects any small imbalance automatically. But as you age, that ability weakens. So even a small overdose can cause arrhythmias or fatigue. Combine that with dehydration, something very common among seniors, and you've got a perfect storm brewing quietly inside the body. Now let's talk about medications. Seniors often take multiple prescriptions for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. These drugs change how the body processes minerals. Diuretics, for instance, flush out magnesium and potassium. ACE inhibitors alter sodium levels. Calcium channel blockers interfere with calcium flow in and out of cells. When you add supplements like D3 or magnesium on top of that, the interactions can become unpredictable. It's not just about what you take, it's about how your body can handle what you take. And let's not forget digestion. The stomach of a 70-year-old doesn't produce as much acid as it did at 30. That means minerals like magnesium or calcium, which need stomach acid to dissolve properly, may not be absorbed evenly. So you get uneven levels, sometimes too little, sometimes too much. It's like pouring salt into soup without stirring. Some parts get oversalted, others stay bland. Your blood chemistry becomes patchy, unstable. What makes this so concerning is how quietly it happens. The symptoms are subtle: fatigue, leg cramps, brain fog, irregular heartbeat, or constipation. Most people brush them off as just getting old. But behind those symptoms, your body might be fighting a hidden war for balance, a war made harder by supplements taken with good intentions but without guidance. And there's one more thing: as we age, our body's communication network slows down. Hormones like parathyroid hormone, PTH, which help regulate calcium and vitamin D, become less responsive. So even if you're taking the right doses, your body might not be signaling properly where to send those nutrients. The result: calcium, that should go to your bones, ends up in your arteries. Magnesium, that should calm your nerves, piles up in your blood. You're doing everything right, yet your body feels wrong. This is why seniors must approach supplements with respect, not fear, but respect. Your body has earned the right to be treated gently. It doesn't need mega doses, it needs mindful care. Regular blood tests can show what's really going on. Hydration helps your kidneys flush out excess minerals. Gentle exercise improves circulation, helping nutrients reach the right tissues. And most importantly, food-based sources, leafy greens for magnesium, sunlight for D3, and fermented foods for K2, provide the natural rhythm your body understands best. My friends, aging isn't a disease, it's a new chapter of biology, but that chapter requires new rules. The same tools that built your strength when you were younger can backfire if you use them blindly in later years. Your body doesn't need more supplements, it needs smarter supplementation. So before you open another bottle, pause, ask yourself, is my body ready for this? Or does it need something simpler, like water, movement, and sunlight? Because sometimes, the most powerful medicine isn't found in a capsule. It's found in the small, consistent choices that respect your body's age, wisdom, and rhythm. The truth is, your body isn't failing you, it's whispering, slow down, I've changed, listen to me. And when you do, balance returns. That's not weakness, that's mastery. My friends, here's where things get truly deceptive and honestly dangerous. You've probably seen those health influencers or supplement companies talking about the perfect stack: magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, taken together for bone strength, heart protection, and energy. Sounds amazing, right? Like a magic formula for seniors who want to stay active and healthy. But what if I told you that this so-called perfect stack can quietly turn into a toxic cocktail inside your body when used improperly? Let's break down how and why this happens, because too many good people are being misled into harming themselves while trying to do the right thing. Magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 all play interconnected roles in calcium metabolism, meaning they help your body use calcium correctly. Magnesium activates vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption from your gut. Vitamin K2 helps direct that calcium into your bones rather than letting it deposit in your arteries. It sounds like harmony, doesn't it? The problem begins when we start supplementing all three together without understanding our body's unique needs or current levels. Most people don't know that blood tests for magnesium, D3, and K2 are rarely done together, and supplement doses are often based on online advice, not real deficiency data. When you push too hard on this stack, your body can't always maintain balance, and instead of synergy, you create chaos. Let's take an example. Imagine your body as a construction site. Vitamin D3 is like the worker that brings more building material, calcium, onto the site. Magnesium is like the foreman who tells the workers where to go and what to do. And vitamin K2 is like the engineer who directs that calcium to the right place, your bones. But if you keep pouring in more and more building materials, calcium from D3 activation, and your foreman magnesium is exhausted or missing, and your engineer K2 is overwhelmed, what happens? The site becomes a mess, materials start piling up in the wrong places, your arteries, kidneys, and joints. The result? Calcification, kidney stones, and even heart valve damage. This is not science fiction, it's basic biochemistry out of control. Studies have shown that people who take high doses of vitamin D3, say more than 4,000 IU daily, without checking magnesium or K2 levels often develop calcium imbalance. Symptoms: muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat, or unexplained fatigue. In older adults, that imbalance can progress silently, depositing calcium in arteries or kidneys. Magnesium helps prevent this by moderating D3 activation and controlling calcium channels. But if you also supplement magnesium heavily without knowing your kidney function, you can end up with the opposite problem: magnesium buildup, which can slow your heart rate and weaken your muscles. And then there's vitamin K2, often misunderstood as harmless. Too little, and calcium goes astray; too much, and your blood clotting can change unpredictably, especially if you're taking anticoagulants like warfarin. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because their liver and kidneys metabolize these nutrients more slowly. So when companies promote this triple synergy, they never tell you that your 70-year-old body does not process vitamins like a 30-year-old's. What's therapeutic at one age can be toxic at another. Here's the real hidden truth: the balance between these nutrients is more important than the dose of any single one. It's not about stacking, but about synchronizing. Magnesium and D3 should be in a 1:2 balance ratio depending on your deficiency, and K2 should be guided by blood clotting markers and dietary intake. This is why professional guidance and regular testing matter more than blindly following supplement trends. If you're taking these three supplements, pause and think: when was the last time you got your calcium, magnesium, or vitamin D levels checked? When was the last time your doctor assessed your kidney function or arterial health? You see, your health isn't a guessing game, it's chemistry, delicate, powerful, and responsive. Let me end this part with a simple but powerful truth: no nutrient works alone, and no health shortcut comes without a price. The body is smarter than any supplement brand or social media influencer. It doesn't need overload, it needs balance. Think of it like music. If every instrument plays louder trying to be heard, what you get isn't harmony, it's noise. So before you stack your next pill, ask yourself, is my body asking for help, or am I drowning it in good intentions? That, my friends, is the real question to ponder. My friends, after everything we've uncovered, I want to end this discussion not with fear but with empowerment, because knowledge is not meant to frighten us, it's meant to free us. You see, magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are not villains. In fact, they're essential for life itself. But just like medicine, the difference between healing and harm often lies in one simple factor: the dose and the balance. And that's exactly what most people miss. Let's start with a truth I wish every senior knew. Your body changes with age, and so does the way you process nutrients. Your kidneys, which help filter excess magnesium and control calcium levels, may not be as efficient as they were at 30. Your liver, which converts vitamin D into its active form, slows down with time. Even your gut absorption changes. So when you take high doses of supplements based on someone else's routine, you're not supporting your body, you're overwhelming it. This is why one-size-fits-all advice is dangerous. What works for your neighbor or a YouTube influencer may silently harm you. Here's how you can protect yourself. First, test, don't guess. A simple blood test for 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels, magnesium, calcium, and kidney function can reveal exactly what your body needs. If your vitamin D level is already above 50 ng/ml, you likely don't need extra D3. If your magnesium is low but your kidneys are struggling, your doctor might suggest dietary magnesium instead of supplements. These tests are your roadmap. They turn random supplementation into targeted healing. Second, focus on food before pills. Real food carries balance in its natural form, something supplements can't replicate. Leafy greens, avocados, almonds, and whole grains contain magnesium that your body absorbs slowly and safely. Eggs, fatty fish, and sunlight give you natural vitamin D3 that your body can regulate. Fermented foods like natto, cheese, and grass-fed butter supply K2 in moderation. These foods don't just nourish your body, they speak the same biochemical language your body has understood for thousands of years. Third, if supplementation is necessary, start small and build up gradually. For most seniors, 400–600 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or citrate form is plenty. Vitamin D3, around 1,000–2,000 IU per day, is often enough when combined with safe sunlight exposure. And K2, usually 100–200 mEq7 form, is ideal, but again only if you're not on blood-thinning medication. Remember, your goal is not to take more but to take right. Fourth, listen to your body. It speaks in whispers before it screams. If you notice fatigue, nausea, irregular heartbeat, muscle weakness, or confusion after starting new supplements, your body might be signaling overload. Don't ignore these whispers. Get checked immediately. Too often, seniors dismiss these signs as just aging, when in truth it's their body begging for balance. Now let's address something deeper. Why are we so quick to believe that more vitamins mean more health? Maybe because we've been conditioned to think health comes from bottles, not behavior. But my friends, the real secret isn't hidden in supplements. It's hidden in your daily habits, your sunlight exposure, sleep, hydration, and emotional well-being. Your body doesn't just need nutrients, it needs rhythm, consistency, and respect. Think about it this way. If you owned a priceless car, would you pour random fuels into it just because they all claim to improve performance? Of course not. You'd check what your engine needs. Your body deserves the same respect. It's far more sophisticated than any car. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought depends on precise chemical harmony. And when that harmony is disrupted, the damage can be slow, silent, and devastating. So the path forward is simple, but not easy. Test before you take. Choose food first. Supplement second. Respect your age, your organs, and your biology. And most importantly, question every health trend, because truth doesn't scream in advertisements, it whispers in science. Let me leave you with this. Health is not built by adding more, it's built by balancing what already exists. Don't chase wellness, create it through awareness. Don't seek shortcuts, build foundations. Your body isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally. Treat it with wisdom, not impulse. So, my friends, before you reach for that next pill bottle labeled magnesium, vitamin D3, or K2, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, is this what my body needs, or what the internet told me I should need? Because that one moment of reflection could save you years of suffering, and that awareness, is the true medicine.